Joining me now with more, Governor Mike Huckabee, who's a Fox News contributor, and Mo Alithi, who's the former traveling press secretary for Clinton's 2008 campaign. Great to see you both. Governor, I mean, you might not even know that WikiLeaks was doing anything if you watch channels other than Fox. I mean, the drip, drip, drip of damaging emails out of these Podesta emails is shocking. It's shocking. You tell me whether it would move the needle.
Well, it would have plugged holes in the boat and sunk the ship of anybody other than Hillary Clinton. But the media is so in the tank for Clinton. Let me give a specific example. Last week on one of the evening's newscasts, 23 minutes from the big three networks were devoted to negative stories about Donald Trump. The entirety of coverage regarding some really scandalous things in the WikiLeaks for Hillary Clinton, less than 1 minute. That's 23 to 1. Journalists have given over $400,000 to Hillary Clinton. $14,000 from journalists have gone to Donald Trump. Look, Donald Trump is not just fighting Hillary Clinton. He is having to fight a concerted, and use the word conspiracy if you will, but there is a target on his back, and the media has pinned it there.
You know, Mo, there's no question that the Access Hollywood moment for Donald Trump on that bus and the 9 women who have come forward thereafter is a big story. I mean, if Donald Trump, if it's true and he is a sexual predator, as is alleged, that's a major story. But this stuff on her side is also bad. Pushing for a Catholic spring, going after an entire religious group after that team was lectured us for 2 years on how we're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to categorize all Muslims one way, but it's fine to try to revamp Catholicism from the White House. Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, you got to do the typical disclaimer. None of these emails have been authenticated. And
Russia's bad.
Right,
I got it right.
This is all Putin's doing. But look, you know, I don't know how real these emails are. What I do know is, look, we were all there. We were all there during the fight for the contraceptive mandate, and there were a lot of Catholic groups, progressive Catholics, who stood up and provided an alternate point of view, and they organized themselves. So, look,
a Catholic spring?
Here's what I think.
That's not, it's needy Latinos and Catholic spring and disparaging talk about a lot of figures who they don't happen to like. There's an elitism and a condescension in a lot of these emails that is very off-putting to a lot of people.
I think, having been through a lot of campaigns in my life, I would hate to see any of the emails that any campaign I've ever worked on
go on.
releases, right?
Could you get specific?
No, but we spend a lot of time talking about things. We spend a lot of time talking about other people, talking about what we're going to do. And sometimes you use language that you wouldn't necessarily use in other places, right? I mean, I can only imagine what the emails from inside the Trump campaign read after the past few weeks and the things that they are saying.
We don't have those.
We don't have those. There are a lot of things from Donald Trump we don't have. So, you know, is there a smoking gun here? Is there something that's damning? Probably not. Is there a lot of stuff that's embarrassing?
Yeah.
Sure.
And the question is whether, because we're only, I guess, 20% through, Governor, on the WikiLeaks disclosures. They say they have, I think it's 75% more. We've only received, 1/4 of what they have. And you tell me whether 3 weeks is enough time for her to die a death by 1,000 cuts, if you will. You know, she's not going to have the big moment, most likely, where, she falls down in the middle of the debate tomorrow night. But little by little, are these WikiLeaks releases hurting her?
Well, they would be if they were being heard by most of America, but they're not, because only Fox News and some of the conservative outlets are carrying them. But the one thing that they do reveal, and this is so important, look, I love Mo. He's a great guy, but when he says they haven't been verified, neither have a lot of the allegations about Donald Trump, but the media treats it as if it has all been settled in a court of law, and it most certainly hasn't. Here's what I would tell you. Nobody has denied the veracity of these claims. They've just said, well, it came from some source it shouldn't have come from. Look, what we learned from it is that this is the truth from Hillary Clinton that we do not get in her speeches. Those truth moments come when she's talking to Goldman Sachs for $1 million a pop. What we learn is that she has a contemptuous attitude toward Christians, toward Catholics, toward evangelicals, toward Jews. This is a woman who calls half the country deplorable. That's what America needs to know. This is a clear choice for president this time.
That's more like 1/4 of the country. Half of the country supports Trump, and it's a half of the half. Great to see you both.
Thanks, Megan.